as I know him. The other monastics from Ramakrishna Mission, my colleagues, teachers, head of departments and students. I won't be taking too much time and stand in between of Swamiji and you. The subject is so interesting, so just 2-3 minutes I will take. Body, mind and soul. During my medical journey, some lady saint gave me the books of Bach flower remedies. It was in around 90s. And as we are allopaths and we know, we are very skeptical about other pathies like homeopathy, Ayurveda and all that. So I said, what is this Bach flower remedies? But then after my graduation, till 4 or 5 years, I didn't touch or even read those books. I just kept it. When I joined as a faculty, I wrote those, read those books, and I realized that very wonderful books, and the philosophy particularly of Edward Bach. He was from England, and he discovered those kind of unique system that harmony of the mind is very important for healing. Basically, the healing comes from within. That is his philosophy. And before any disease happens, the mind is affected first. So I got interested. I got the complete set for myself from England. Those medicines were not available. 38 remedies. And they are basically the vibrations of the wild flowers. There is no medicinal substance into it. Positive vibrations of the flower. And after getting that kit, I experimented first on myself, because I know there are many things mind related which are not in harmony, and I found those to be wonderful. I experimented, or my relatives, our friends, they also tried those, and we found that really, really wonderful. Yes, I have many stories to tell you about those use of Bach flower remedies. The point is that the mind, body, mind and soul, basically the fundamental question is what we are. It's a absolutely fundamental question. Who am I? Ramana Maharshi used to always say that, ask yourself, who am I? So I will be throwing 2-3 questions before you, and then I will stop. I am not going to tell anything, but these are absolutely the fundamental questions of life. What is this life all about? Who am I? What is this whole universe and galaxies and mind-boggling, whatever this, what we see, what is this? Who created, and what is this all about? So these are absolutely fundamental questions. And I'll end up with the story of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, that he used to tell that there are 3 types of the fish in the ocean. And those 3 types are like when the fisherman comes and he throws the net, most of them, they are caught in that net. But there are 3 types. Those who are caught in the net, the majority of the fish, they don't think that they are trapped, or they are kind of trapped into something. They, in fact, happily, merrily, they spend some time, and when the fisherman takes out the net, they just struggle and die. Majority. The second kind of fish are little small percentage, maybe 5 to 10%. They realize that they are kind of, there is something had happened, they are trapped. They try, but they think that the net, the fisherman's net is very strong. So they give up. The third, which is a very, very rare, those fish, they know that they are trapped. They struggle extremely hard, they break the net and then they escape and they are free in the ocean. So the whole humanity or all of us, we are like that. We don't realize that we are trapped. So I end up with that story and I welcome Swamiji, and I deeply, on behalf of everyone, on behalf of institution, I thank Swamiji to come here all the way. Spending so much time in US, I am very sure that he will be able to answer most of your questions. And I encourage you to have a question answer session, because these are the basic fundamental questions, even simple question, how to concentrate, or what is this life, why we should sort of read these books, is there any relevance of religion or the philosophy in our daily life. So this is what you should ask and take the advantage. And I really also am very happy that students are kind of continuing the good programs after National Youth Day. And lastly, I will thank Saurabh Maharaj ji. It's his constant support and encouragement. So that is very, very satisfying, and that is taking us forward. So thank you so much for inviting me. And Swamiji, please welcome very much, and we are very eager to hear you. Thank you.
This is just to make me more visible to you, that's all. It is not increasing my height. Anyway. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurmam Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, and from death, which is limited existence, to immortality, that is the unlimited existence. Please let me know if you are not able to hear. Please raise your hand. Are you able to hear in the back row? Okay, very good. They are all able to hear. So, it is, of course, my pleasure and privilege to be here with you. My heartfelt thanks to Dean Dr. Bijawe, all other medical faculties, of course, our devotee, Sucheta Gule. Please don't believe what she told about me, Some part of it is true, but about my medical knowledge and all, take it not with a pinch of salt, a fistful salt please put on it. I do not know much about it at all. So it is, anyway, so my sannyasi friends here like Jnanagamyananda and our Santosh Maharaj, Sanjay Maharaj, many devotees who have taken the trouble of coming over here. But mostly this lecture is directed to the budding doctors sitting here and the teachers. Since the topic is vast, I won't waste time in formalities. We'll go straight to the topic. But one remark I want to make, the one who was giving the introduction, that conducting the program, Miss Chitranvis, I think. Huh? Yes. Let me tell you that you said, will the robot have feelings? I assure you that the robots also have feelings. Anyway, that is not the topic to be discussed now, but if human beings have feelings, robots also have feelings. Everything has feelings. Many times we are insensitive to sense those feelings, that's all. So anyway, thank you. Please be seated. I didn't want to disturb you, but just wanted to make a passing remark about it. Since you made this comment that, yes, let us turn to the subject. It is a vast subject because this whole profession is about healing. And the healing, a holistic healing, only as to the physical body, still there is the holistic healing very important, because if you try to cure one aspect, it may disturb the other aspect of the function. Other function may get disturbed. So even at the physical level, there has to be a holistic approach, that let there be healing. Try to cure one thing and then invite many other things. That is not what we want. Then secondly, the body and the mind and the soul, it is a three-layered personality that we have. It is, and we know about it. But we just focus on what we can handle. The body is visible. The mind we are aware of, but it is not visible. We have some semblance of control on body. A reasonably healthy body can act according to the will of person. Like if you decide to wipe your face with right hand, wipe your face with right hand, then immediately your hand will go here. Can you do it with mind? Let me keep my mind here. No, not possible. It is, we feel that how to deal with that, because it is not perceptible by us. And yet we know it is there, and it is a very important component in our being healthy. As has been told by Dr. Bijawe, that most of the diseases actually begin in mind. Also, the pleasures and pains are never felt by body, they are felt in mind. And therefore, mental health is very, very important something that we have to concentrate on. Let me make one more comment before I actually turn to the subject, and that is, this discussion will be only on rational, scientific grounds. Although because of my attire and because the religious tags that come along with it, you may think I will be talking something about religion, belief system, and so forth. No, friends. Here I have come to discuss things only at a scientific level. That let us analyze. Of course, we have to take our science a little deeper than what is just observable by the senses. Because as we saw, the mind cannot be observed as we observe other things. But then still we will have to cultivate a way whereby we can handle the mind. We can do something about it. So the science has to go a little deeper than what it is normally called. Let me give you an analogy that has been presented by Arthur Eddington, a great physicist of last century. He has written a very nice book. I suggest every student of science, whether it is biological sciences or physical sciences, one should read that book to see how the method of science works and what are its drawbacks. The drawbacks are not mentioned to condemn it, but to understand the limitations of our knowledge. Everything has its limitations, you see. And that doesn't mean it is not useful. It is useful to that extent. It has a domain within which it works. So, he has given a very nice this analogy, how science works. Please listen carefully. And as I suggested, please read the original book to understand how science works. So, he says, how does it work? That suppose a scientist wants to study the aquatic creatures in the waters. So, he goes to a pond with a net and then throws the net into water and then pulls out the net and examines the catch. And then draws conclusion. That is in general the method of science. Do experiments, do observation, and then from that observation draw the generalized conclusions. That is the method of science. So that scientist does that, examines the catch, and then he draws his first conclusion that all these creatures in water, they can survive only in water. When they are taken out from water, they die. Second conclusion that he drew was that every creature in water is at least 2 inches long. Now the method of empirical science is that continue the experimentation. He throws the net in the water again, takes out and examines this catch, and he sees that he has to alter his first conclusion. The first conclusion that these creatures can breathe only in water, now he has to change it. This time probably he caught a frog who can survive outside the water as well. But then this second conclusion was again confirmed by this experiment that every creature is at least 2 inches long. He kept on doing the experiment and then drew many other conclusions, but this conclusion just remained that every creature is at least 2 inches long. And the reason for that was the distance between the two threads of the net was 2 inches. Do you get it? It cannot therefore catch anything smaller than 2 inches. And he says, Professor Eddington said, that our method of science is like this. We throw a net of these 5 sense organs on this universe, and whatever gets caught in it, we analyze only that, and based on that we draw our conclusions. So this I am telling just to make you aware of the limitations of our science. And therefore what happens, even if you decide that, well, let me just limit my studies to the creatures which are 2 inches long and 2 or more inches long, that also you will not be able to do fully, because, say, for example, a fish that you caught, And when you caught, it was 2 inches long. But when it had its birth from the egg, it was not 2 inches long. So you will not be able to study of the birth of the fish because it will not get caught in that net. This is just an analogy to make us aware the limitations of this whole scientific process. There is a lot remains to be known. So, therefore, we have to expand the horizons of our science and go deeper. And there we come to mind. For many centuries, even till last a decade ago, it was thought by almost all Western neuroscientists and psychiatrists, psychologists, that mind is same as brain. There is nothing like mind, it is only the brain. Mind is not observable. There is nothing like mind, and the logic is that just because, there is no other reason to say that there is no mind except that we cannot see it with our eyes, we cannot have any understanding of it except through the brain. So therefore brain is identical with mind. But this is a very wrong understanding that they had been holding on to for a long, long time. That it is like saying that because we do not see the electricity, these bulbs are the electricity. How stupid it will be, you see, to identify these light fixtures with electricity. That is, electricity is a very different thing, but just because we cannot see it, we can see its expression only through these light fixtures. We think, should we think that there is nothing like electricity? It will not, it will be very wrong. Exactly in the same way, to think that there is no mind apart from brain is absolutely wrong. I used to have discussion with a professor in MIT, his name Jerry Schneider. He was the professor of neuroscience, and he used to argue with me about it, that yes, there is nothing like mind, only the brain. And then he said, well, as a devotee, I agree with you, but not as a scientist. I said, let us discuss it only on the scientific platform. Do not bring your devotion or other things in the discussion. Tell me, would you identify the electricity and the light fixture? Are they one? He said, no, but. Gradually he came to agree, accept this, that the mind is different from brain. I had to work hard on him on this point. Many other neuroscientists, there had been some honorable exceptions right from the beginning, who actually maintain that mind is a very separate entity that works through the brain on the body. So therefore, now it has become much easier to explain that mind is different from body, that it is, body is hardware. Now since everybody uses computers, everybody uses these smartphones, it has become easier to explain this to them. That look, you have the hardware called, say, computer, laptop. talk, or say even the smartphone, it is hardware, but it is powered, it is run by something that is called software. The relation is very similar. The mind is that which runs the hardware of this called the body. Brain is part of the body. So this is an important understanding that one has to cultivate, that there is a software that is running this hardware. Are you in agreement with me so far? Yes. Any question? So, let us move forward. That long back, it was I think year 1992, early 1992, when we at Ramakrishna Math got our first computer. And at that time, one young engineer lady had come to explain the works to us, and I asked her, can you tell me what is hardware and what is software? My understanding of hardware is some building materials and nails and screws and all that stuff that we buy from the hardware store. That is my understanding of hardware. And what you call software, I have no understanding at all. So she explained very nicely that look, whatever you can see, whatever you can touch, whatever you can sense through your sense organs, that is hardware. And that which you cannot really see or sense, but which makes this run, that is software. So, not that I immediately understood everything, but it gradually developed. So you can just have this understanding of mind, that it runs this hardware. And now you will understand the importance of having control on it. That unless you have control on the software too, you will not be able to make use of this body-mind machine. It is a machine. Yes, you know, Ms. Titmis, this is also, you said robot is a machine. This is also a machine, hardware and software. Then, therefore, you can see that both have to be healthy. Most importantly, the software has to be healthy. So, a holistic healing has to understand both these things together. I will come to the soul a little later. I know we have very limited time, but still, let me complete a little discussion on body and mind first. So, the body wears out fast. The body gets impacted very fast. The mind lasts longer. It is like the data when your smartphone you change every now and then. But that doesn't mean you throw away all your contacts or all the nice pictures that you might have taken on your old phone. What do? You transfer those to the new machine, new phone or new computer. So, it is exactly like that. The mind is far more durable than the body. Moreover, all that you do, the pleasures, pains, elations, depressions, everything is registered in the mind and gets the response from there. So it is, that is what is called, our happiness or unhappiness that depends on the condition of mind. I just met one of our Swamis who is suffering from an incurable, a very debilitating disease. He was here in Nagpur for quite a few years, and now he has for some months lost the use of all his limbs. He was able to speak a little bit. When I met him just a few days ago, that also was stopping almost. He is not likely to survive a long time. A young man, But it was amazing to see that he was internally very happy. He was not morose at all. I went to, say some words of encouragement and consolation, but he did not need any of it. He was quite happy because the body was sick, but as he has been able to separate it from the mind, and therefore was not feeling any sadness about what has happened. It was in fact a lesson to me that this young brother of mine, although he has that kind of sickness and would not be surviving too long, is still happy. And is that not that's the goal of healing, isn't it? What do you think? The person must feel happy, contented. So that is what the healing should do. So you can see, if the mind is healed like this, in spite of the physical debility, the person is still feeling intrinsically happy. So, and otherwise I have seen many people, somehow or other, they have developed a habit of making themselves unhappy in spite of having no physical problem whatsoever. So now they need the healing at another level. So we must see that this mental healing is necessary. And how the physical health is kept good? Simple. I really don't have much medical knowledge. Whatever Dr. Bule might have told you, please don't expect any of that from me. But this is simple general knowledge that you get in your, early school days, in middle school or primary school, that to keep your body healthy, you should take good food, healthy food. And there is the description like the wholesome diet. There should be right amount of carbohydrates, and right amount of proteins, right amount of vitamins, and then other things, fiber and so forth. So it is a balanced diet is necessary for having good health. But that is not enough. You should have good exercise. There should be exercise to all the different limbs of the body. So actually we had in Providence, our Vedanta society there, an international yoga conference some years ago, and we had invited many these leaders in the field of yoga. One was laughter yoga. Do you know laughter yoga? So laughter yoga, it gives exercises to all the finer muscles. Your other yoga, like do your Shirshasana or this asana, that, they are good. But they give exercise to the bigger limbs, bigger muscles. The smaller muscles, the inner muscles, when you laugh, you get exercise for that. And this yoga tells you that laughing doesn't need any humor. You can just laugh for the sake of laughing. He said, do not just disconnect the two things, that you have to read some humorous literature or see some humorous movie. No need. Just laugh for the sake of laughing. So he has given some demonstration like how a tiger would laugh. Can you imagine a tiger laughing? Just then smiling, tiny smile, it gives exercise to some of these muscles. Then when there is this hilarious loud laughing, it gives exercise to even intestinal muscles and the ribs and all that. So, exercise is very important to keep yourself healthy. Not only the balanced diet, but also balanced exercise. So this is about the health of the body. The principle remains same for the mind too. Do not put junk in your mind if you want to keep it healthy. Just as if you put junk in your body, the body is not likely to remain healthy. Let me tell you one incident that happened in our dispensary. I used to go there at Indira Chowk. There is a homeo dispensary run by Ramakrishna Math. I used to work there for a few years. One lady used to come with indigestion complaints and all that. And then, let me tell you some of those things in Hindi, because she was talking in Hindi. So, the doctor gave her some medicine. Then she comes to me and says, अरे वो डॉक्टर ने बोला हमको, आप ये गुजराती लोग हैं, आप ये सब गाठिया, सेव, ढोकरा ये सब खाते हैं, इसको जरा कम कर दो, तो आपका हाजमा ठीक रहेगा. अरे ये सब नहीं खाओ, हमारे गुजराती दोस्त यहाँ बैठे हैं, तो कुछ बुरा मत मानिएगा. तो वे भी जानते हैं इस बात को. तो उसने हमसे गुस्से में कहा कि अरे ये न खाऊं तो मैं तो ऐसी ही ठीक रहती हूँ, फिर आप लोगों का क्या काम है? तो बात ये है, sorry, I won't continue in Hindi, but it is, the point is that if you put food that is not bringing you any health or benefits, then that food should be avoided. Same thing with the mind. That stuff that you put in. Food means intake basically. And when you take something in that does not bring you contentment, joy, rather irritates and disturbs you, now your mind becomes unhealthy thereby. One feels depressed. I was talking to somebody a few days ago, and the person as such doesn't have any problem, so to say. Quite healthy, goes to play tennis, runs a lot. He's very wealthy also, and no problem with, on that front. He eats very healthy food, keeps healthy. But always worried and depressed. Why are you worried? There is nothing to worry about. And probably that may make him worry, because, I have nothing to worry about. That becomes a cause of worry. So it is. one should be careful about it. I mean, that do not put all those thoughts in you. Don't import those things. Take in what is necessary, nothing more than that. Just as with food, too much food that doesn't get digested, it is not good for us, not good for our physical health. So also with the mind, take the proper, required, adequate diet, mental diet, good diet. And what is it? Fill yourself with good thoughts. There are so many nice ways of taking good thoughts within us. Let me read, say, some good books. Those books which make me, feel more enthusiastic, more self-confident. That is very important. Let me allude to one wonderful book here that became very popular around 1970. It was by a doctor who was a plastic surgeon. The name of that book is Psycho-Cybernetics. I'm forgetting the name of the author. Somebody may have, you can Google Psycho-Cybernetics. Just by saying, his name was Maxwell Mars. So, he was a plastic surgeon. And then many used to come to him, especially some young teenagers. They used to feel depressed because they feel that because their nose is not proper, so they are not liked by anybody. They are not getting friends because of their appearance, so they wanted some surgery to fix it. And this plastic surgeon used to do it, but he noticed that although the nose has been fixed, now all corrected, still the depressed attitude did not go away. So he saw that must be another reason, That is how you see another reason. If you eliminate one reason, one man was this is another joke I am telling you, not exactly a joke, but something that the doctors must ponder over, that a man was complaining to his physician that my right knee is giving lot of pain. The doctor says that, well, it is because of age. He said, well, doctor, that can't be the only reason, because the age of my left knee is same as the age of my right knee. Then why only one? If age has been the only reason, then why only right knee is giving pain? So, this Dr. Marx saw that only appearance is not the reason for depression. There is something more than that. And he formed a theory of self-image, which is very similar to what Swami Vivekananda had told about self-confidence. He says there that you form a self-image, that, oh, I am like that, I fail always, I never get friends, nobody likes me. Now, how do you form this self-image? Maybe sometimes somebody might not have liked you. Now that experience should be taken just like that. That is, at this time somebody did not like me, and say that after all that everybody has to like me. Some may like, some may not. But you form a wrong self-image. You put it like this: nobody likes me. And then what happens? It becomes what is called self-fulfilling prophecy. That automatically your behavior becomes such that you feel nobody likes me. nobody likes me, or I fail every time. Whatever I do, I fail. Oh, I am such a forgetful wreck. I am such a forgetful wreck. Actually, you might have, everybody forgets sometimes here and there things, but that should not make you think that your self-image should not become that, so I am always forgetful. That is a wrong attitude. That take it, make a healthy self-image. Healthy self-image. So, healthy self-image means, yes, I am capable of doing so many things. Do not weaken yourself further. Swami Vivekananda therefore used to say, and so many times he said, in fact that was one of the reasons that I got attracted to Vivekananda and Vedanta, and that was that the old religions might have told you that if you don't believe this God and that God, then you are atheist. I tell you that those who do not have faith in themselves, they are atheists. So, one important point in making our mind healthy is fill the mind with this self-confidence that yes, I can do many things. Let me improve myself, but I have all the potential to do that. That is how one should move forward to have a healthy self-image. That is a step in having healthy mind. We are talking about healthy body, healthy mind, holistic approach. And this is because it is together. If your hardware is good but the software is not good, it has problems, your computer will not work well. If your software is good but then the hardware is not good, then again you will have problems. So, therefore, you have to have both of them. Not only both of them should be good, they should be compatible and both in the healthy condition. So, therefore, the healthy self-image is very important. So, like body, get the food of the mind which is balanced and healthy. Again, it will differ from person to person. But the criterion is the same. That which makes you more self-confident, that which makes you, not dejected at all, more encouraged. So that kind of thoughts should be taken in mind. So it is, that is the food. Read the great works. I many times tell the youngsters, because I myself was held by that book, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It is a very small book. What did I tell? Do you remember? Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It is the story of a seagull who wants to fly higher and higher, go higher and higher. That should be the aspiration, that let me improve myself, go beyond whatever I see. Our progress happens with that, that we learn to see beyond the present horizons. So, that is how one should improve ourselves mentally. Other things like physical, you need not only food but exercise. Give exercise to the mind. And what is it? Think. It is, reading is good, or taking in the thoughts, healthy thoughts is good, but that's not enough. You have to keep on thinking and applying that thinking. So what is right and what is not right? In Sanskrit literature it is called viveka, that discernment as to what is permanent, what is not permanent, what is real, what is not real, what is beneficial to me and what is just attractive. And this is very important. Think, something could be very attractive and alluring, but if you fall prey to that, you are lost. It is. So therefore, one must have a discernment between what is just attractive and what is actually beneficial or helpful. It is called in Sanskrit, following the expression of Kathopanishad, Preya and Shreya. Preya means that which is attractive, like, but Shreya is that which leads to betterment and welfare. So, this is the exercise of the mind. I have put these things in nutshell, very brief. Very briefly I have presented these, and now let me come to what is the time now. Okay, I'll be finishing soon. Although I am habituated to give very long orations, and it is, I will limit this discussion for say another 10 minutes. I will release you. It is, what is this soul? The user of this machine. The user of this machine, body and mind. It is where you can, the one who uses it. Now, when you look at it, you come to many stunning conclusions. That yes, and I am presenting those conclusions to you, that body is different, this body is different, that body is different, that body is different, and the body of an ant is different, body of say a virus is very different. These are all bodies. They are different for everything. Mind is also different. Everybody's mind is quite different. But when it comes to soul, you enter a territory which is beyond space and time, and therefore there are no two there. There are no two there. It is one and the same. It is like everybody carries a water bottle with oneself to drink water from. Now the bottles are different, but the water is the same. So similarly, the soul actually has no difference as my soul and somebody else's soul. They are same. It is all pervading one reality. And that reality is where we have the source of all true existence. Body and mind both are changing and therefore are perishable. They come and go. Everything that comes has to go. Do you agree with this? So they are all perishable. But the soul neither comes and therefore cannot go also. Moreover, there are no two about it, because there is no distinctions. All the distinctions that we make are either on the level of body or on the level of mind. If this soul is different from body and mind, please pay attention to this point. This is a very logical, strong point, but most people fail to grab it. And that is, being different from body and mind, it doesn't have a location, because location means space. That has to be everywhere. Without having a location, it is everywhere. And without any sense of time, not limited by the sense of time, it is eternal. So it is the source of all happiness. That is why we feel happy only when we sense oneness. You can observe and see that. That is where the thinking has to be applied. Suppose you like a cake, and then you are here and the cake is there. Do you feel satisfied? You don't feel happy then. When do you feel happy? When the distance between you and cake vanishes. You and cake become one. Then only you feel satisfied and happy. So actually it is in oneness that we feel happy. That is the source therefore of all joy. That is also the source of all knowledge. That is also the soul of all existence. So therefore the soul is the goal of all. The body and mind, they should be actually given the direction so that we can experience our true nature, the soul, or what is called Atma. That is how we will make ourselves very healthy at the holistic level. It is the body, the mind and the senses, they all will then become useful to us if we are going to this destination of supreme bliss. Life can be described as a journey. As a journey. It has been described by many great teachers, say like Upanishad, as journey. That you begin and then there has to be a destination. So the destination is to have the experience of this one all-pervading existence, consciousness and bliss. That is the destination, and then by properly controlling our senses and our mind, we learn, we direct our journey to that ultimate goal of our life. So this was just a brief discussion, and I will be very happy to answer if you have any questions. But now I will like to close with another great universal prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Again my thanks to everybody who played a role in organizing this today's discussion and allowed me to think on this very lofty and elevating